and welcome to this edition of Headlines Nigeria on NITV. I am Grace Ukot. Join me as we take a look at the headlines for today. Punch newspaper says Uduaghan raises the alarm over plot to hijack Jonathan. Delta State Governor Emmanuel Uduaghan has alleged that some people are planning to hijack President Goodluck Jonathan. Uduaghan, at a meeting with the Delta State Elders Council in Warri on Saturday, claimed that such people were shielding Jonathan from relevant stakeholders, especially those from the Niger Delta. Reps split over 15.1 billion naira quarterly allocation. A fresh row is brewing in the House of Representatives over a demand by lawmakers for the leadership to raise the quarterly allowance of each of the 360 members to 42 million naira. Currently, each lawmaker receives 27.9 million naira every quarter, besides another 4.9 billion naira, that's about 1.3 million naira per legislator, as monthly salary. Traders issue Oyo government ultimatum on bad roads. Traders in Bodija International Market, Ibadan, Oyo State, have given the state government a 7-day ultimatum to clear the field around the market and rehabilitate its access roads. The traders, under the aegis of Ibadan Foodstuff Traders Association, threatened to shut down the market if the government failed to meet their demands at the expiration of the ultimatum. And Daily Trust newspaper, plane crash lands in Kano farm. A Cessna Model T9B training aircraft belonging to the Nigeria College of Aviation Technology, Zaria, crash landed at a village just outside Kano yesterday. It plunged into farmland at Katoge village, directly behind the Science Secondary School at Dawakin Tofa, about 20 kilometers away from Kano City. 3 occupants of the light training plane escaped unhurt, and the aircraft was not badly damaged. Jonathan in Gombe lauds prudent management of resources. President Goodluck Jonathan has commended the Gombe state government for prudent management of resources by not overcosting contracts awarded for development projects. And Daily Independent newspaper, firm threatens legal action over contract awarded Tompolo. Niger Delta Minister Govt Orubebe has been given an ultimatum of 5 days to revert the contract re-awarded to KFT Odogbo, the firm owned by government Ekpemupolo, alias Tompolo, in Kurunte, Delta State, or face legal action. Tension in Jos over death of 3 Fulani herdsmen. More soldiers are on patrol in Jos as renewed fear grips the residents over the death of 3 Fulani herdsmen on Saturday at Tusung village on the Plateau, a state returning to the headlines for the 3rd time this year over violence. And Leadership newspaper reports roads. FEMA needs 120 billion naira annually. MD. The Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, has said that it will require 120 billion naira annually to maintain federal roads across the country. FEMA Managing Director Mr. Kabir Abdullahi disclosed this yesterday in Abuja at an interactive session with newsmen. Abdullahi said that about 60% of Nigerian roads had collapsed when he assumed office last year due to negligence. And now moving over to politics news, Punch newspaper. PDP, fear of dissolution grips NWC. The 11 members of the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party are currently afraid that they may be sacked as soon as a new chairman is elected for the party. A source explained that this fear was due to the fact that a new national chairman could decide not to work with the NWC members. He added that some of the NWC members, in an effort to keep their jobs, had started granting interviews, saying that the party's position on zoning might change. INEC, Obasanjo tips Shoyebi as race hots up. The battle for the chairmanship of the Independent National Electoral Commission heated up on Sunday with civil rights groups, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and the Presidential Advisory Committee supporting different candidates. It's been learned that Obasanjo had been making attempts to persuade President Goodluck Jonathan to appoint the acting chairman of INEC, Mr. Solomon Shoyebi, as the substantive head of the electoral body. Don't abolish independent candidacy, groups urge federal government. 3 non-government organizations have urged that the federal government not abolish plans to have independent candidates contest in the 2011 general elections. Daily Independent newspaper reports PDP chairmanship tears Jonathan Obasanjo apart. The mentor relationship between President Goodluck Jonathan and former President Olusegun Obasanjo is headed for the rocks over the choice of People's Democratic Party chairman. Leadership newspaper, Northern elders fault Jonathan's appointments. A group of Northern elders under the aegis of the Northern Elders Assembly rose from a meeting weekend in Abuja with a strong statement condemning President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan over appointments he made in key areas which they said were lopsided. The groups also called the president that if he really wants to fight corruption, he should stay away from former President Olusegun Obasanjo. And on business news, Leadership newspaper says Dangote in talks to buy stake in Arsenal. Chairman of Dangote Group of Companies, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, is in talks to buy a 16% stake in Arsenal Football Club that could trigger a takeover battle for the British Premier League soccer team. Dangote has registered his interest with Blackstone Group to buy the stake from Lady Nina Bracewell-Smith, the club's 4th largest shareholder. This day newspaper, uneasy calm as Kaduna nominates deputy governor. Barring any last-minute change, the name of Kaduna State Commissioner for Finance, Ramalan Yero, will be forwarded to the State House of Assembly today for confirmation as the new deputy governor. But Yero's nomination did not go down well with the Central Senatorial Zone that produced former governor of the state, now Vice President Namadi Sambo. The Central Zone had argued that the deputy governor should be picked from the same area. Vanguard newspaper, allegation of 5 million naira corruption manipulation of electioneering process tear ICAN apart. Members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria are at each other's throat over allegation of corruption, no regard for due process in the award of the Institute's contracts, outright rejection of due process, and corporate governance. Other ethical issues and suppressed anger are among the several things tearing the ICAN members apart. And now moving over to sports news, Punch newspaper, NPL elections, stakeholders hail NFF. The Nigeria Football Federation has been commended for its approach to solving the problems that resulted from the Nigeria Premier League elections. Leadership newspaper, Eagles leave England for Austria today. Nigeria's senior football team, Super Eagles, will today leave England for Austria for the international friendly game against Saudi Arabia tomorrow. The team arrived the United Kingdom on Saturday evening and have since settled down to the business of final preparations for the 2010 FIFA World Cup finals. Vanguard newspaper, Argentina should worry about us, Lagerback. Eagles gaffer Las Lagerback said moments after their Sanford party that he was tired of the many questions and apprehensions about Argentina, one of their group opponents they play on June 12. Argentina should be afraid of the Eagles. They should be afraid that I am coming with the Eagles to play against them. They are under pressure and jittery, not us, the Swede said. Well, it seems that the Eagles coach is confident of his team. And with this, we've come to the end of this edition of Headlines Nigeria. Thanks for logging on.